Hello. Hi, Deborah. How are you tonight? Hi, Jen. Oh, I better turn off my things too. You don't want background noise. So welcome and come on in. We'll give everybody a few minutes to join us. Hi, Chris. Hi, Faye. Hey, Tanya and Judy. Tonight, because thank you, Tanya, so much. Tanya was able to create, I'll show you just a second on the front cover. She created it as a Cricut file, and then Jennifer Palmer on our design team changed it to SVG so you can use it on your silhouette. So thank you, ladies. I appreciate you so much, and I know everyone out in Crafterland does too. Tanya, you did a fabulous job on it. So we're going to have to extend this till Tuesday. I completely forgot. I cannot do any lives this weekend. We're tearing down the last wall here in my craft room. I need to take this Band-Aid out. So I have a wall separating a work room and then the studio here, and it is actually coming down starting tomorrow. So Tuesday, I'm sorry, we are going to have to drag this just on to March 2nd, but then we're going to be completely done. Tonight, we're going to create our accordion pocket here. And so we're going to do the junk journal and the cover on Tuesday. So we're going to create this. I'm going to leave these guys out. And then with my scraps, and you'll be able to go back. I won't do these. I'll give you the sizes. And they're what help hold it shut. And then I did put my chipboard. I extended it past the pocket. And that will also help keep it closed. And we're going to create the front. Now, this is the SVG file. So if you have a cutting machine, Tanya has created it on the Cricut. Makes it so much easier. But the neat thing is this is also a really nice card. Or you can, you know what? On the tape dispenser, I rubbed it against the tape dispenser and it sliced it open. This is a really nice card. So you could create a card, or you're going to be able to use this file in other projects. Just make it for your mini albums. Use it as a tuck. You'll see as we're making it the different variations that you could really do with this. But Tanya, from scratch, created the cutting file. I created this part. Then she took it, changed it into the Cricut file. Then Jennifer created the SVG file. But I'm going to do it by hand. I have both ways so that you will know how to do it if you don't have it. It's really not hard. But having the machine, of course, is so nice. So we're going to do the inside back covers. Now, Tuesday, we're going to do the junk journal. So you had some papers in your little kit, tea-dyed, have all your scraps and that little kit, because you're going to need the string that's in there to tie it together. You're going to need, you've got a doily. We're going to be putting those inside the book as we're tying it shut. So you'll want those. And then we'll do the cover, the decorating, the different closures, and then we're done next Tuesday. Just had to extend a little bit. Okay, so back cover. And I did go ahead and I covered this whole, let me get this up. I covered, no, I did not. I only covered here. I was going to tell you to cover, but we're not going to. I forgot I changed the size of the pocket to go side to side. Okay, so your cutting guide is as follows. So I'm going to go over here to the banners. And I'm going to put up the first banner. So our first cutting guide, first piece that you want, going to be your 8.5 or 8 by 11.5. Excuse me. 8 by 11.5. Now you want this in your scoreboard on the 11.5-inch side. And we're going to do some scoring. So if you have your cutting guide, then you have your scoring right there. If not, I'll go slow. You want 1/2. Oh, and to let you guys know, Margaret from our design team, she's here and she's on YouTube to help, and then also to monitor the comments. And also Tanya's going to be on Facebook mostly. So if you have questions, both these ladies are here to help, and they'll get my attention in case I don't see a pertinent question. Okay, so 11.5 across the top of our scoreboard. We're going to score at 1/2. We're going to score at 1. We're going to score at 1 1/2. Basically, we're going to do these 3 sides of this pocket the exact same thing. So I'm going to turn so it's now at the 8-inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2. 1, 1 1/2. And let's turn now back to the 11.5 at the top of our scoreboard, and we'll score at 1/2. 1, 1 1/2. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, you have 3 score lines, right? We're just going to fold this inside and this one. And I want to do this because I want to check the fit on my cover. And what you're looking for so I'm going to put it here on this side first. See where our cover shuts? So you'll have to kind of look. You don't want it to be in the hinge, of course. About 1/8 of an inch to 1/16 of an inch on the inside of that. And then you want to check the side. So if it's sticking over the edge, you can fix that. Excuse me. I would just trim this and actually just I would just kind of move this score line, but you should be just fine because it looks like it fits great. And Sally said I did not send a text. And guys, did you get the text? I'm telling her, yes, I did. I know some of you did get the text. Excuse me, letting you know that the show starts. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. Now what I do is I just fold with my hand. I'm not going to do any burnishing, and you'll see why. I don't really want to crease those lines yet. Because see, I'm pulling it. Oh, awesome. So I'm pulling it so that everything lines up on that edge. I want everything together. So see, this is a little off, but that's okay. You can kind of see this is just a little bigger there, but it's more important that these are lined up with that edge. And it always happens, and I'm not sure why, because I always have to pull that over and adjust it. Because there we go. Hi, Peggy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this whole set out. Sally is texting me, and so it keeps popping up. I'm not sure if she's here. We need to get rid of those. You know what, Lynn? Yeah, I think that the Cricut's a lot easier. And now I've got my scan and cut. Oh, I love it. I really need new scissors. Oh, they're a mess. My scissors are a mess. So in this corner, we're just going to cut it off straight up. Straight up the lines. We're going to clean them up here in just a minute. And that's what that will look like. I still have a silhouette. It's in the closet. My son's wife has the other one. I'm going to fold the bottom. And then you'll see that sticks out. So I just want to clean that up now so that everything's nice and straight. I'm just going into a slight angle. I didn't do a big angle. Sally, I put you on there as a text. You're in there. I'll check your name after. Now let's fold in the sides. And again, slight angle and just clean that up. It destroyed your image? Huh. Mine was like perfect right on, Tina. It was so awesome. I was shocked. Okay, and again, if it's hanging over that edge, go ahead and just pull it up to match. One day I'll figure out why it does that. Now, I'm going to fold in my sides. Hi, Celeste. Hi, Donna's. Use my clothespins. They'll be helpful. I'm going to push that side down and push that over, making sure nothing's, of course, sticking over the edge. And I'm going to, add my adhesive. We'll just let that hold. Shake this up. Okay, we're going to let that dry. While that's drying, the next piece of cardstock that you need is 7 by 7. This is the top. And I didn't do the top all the way across because I just didn't want it to hit anywhere. Whoops. And I liked that size. It's just enough to cover, yet you can tell there's something back there. But we're going to score this, and it doesn't matter which side because now we're working with the 7 by 7. Gosh, everything's sticking. A lot of static. And we just want to score it at 1/2 and 3/4. 1/2, 3/4. Oh, I did get glue on there. Just a little bit of glue. Well, we're going to cover it. Yeah, that's glue. Well, actually, Margaret, yes. I tried to do the country bunny, you know, on my cutout page, and it tore it apart. It didn't work because the lines were just too light. So it would cut inside the butterfly or the little tiny bunnies, and it just tore it apart. So that's kind of a no-go. Now on this one, I didn't on the other one, but I want to go ahead and I want to round my corners. You can do that with a decorative punch. You can leave them. The other one's just square, but I'm going to round these guys. And then we have that little pocket. And you may have already cut it, but you've got lots of scraps. The size is actually 3.5 by 7.5. And I believe I had put 3 by 7 on your cutting guide. So you'll just want to change that. Yeah, I did. 3 by 7. It's 3.5 by 7.5. And it's a pocket, so we're just going to score on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. And miter the corners. And the bottom. And that will just hold those tags I show, and they'll help hold your pocket closed. Okay, now we want a mat. And if you used your Cozy Christmas, these are the patterns that I used for the matting. On the outside. So I'll start on the inside. Well, I mean, I'll start with these two guys. And I'll give you the measurements. And I used a 4-inch piece there. This one's 4 1/8. So I would cut both pieces 4 1/8, and then we'll trim them down. And then, well, I'm going to remeasure that pocket, but it should be 6 1/2, so 6 3/8. So we're going to cut 2 pieces at 4 1/8 by 6 3/8. Oh, we don't need that. Yeah. I want to show you something. When you open this, might have helped if I'd put them both on the right side. It's not really going to matter, but I should have had both of these open, which is fine. It's dead. I have that. I don't know why I did that. This should have been underneath mine because I was talking. I'm just going to leave it. So I'm just going to open that a little bit and miter it just a hair. Get rid of the corner so when we add our cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to cut an ivory piece, which is our coordinating. Well, if you use it, or you can use a coordinating, I'll use that. And then I have the red snowflakes, which is similar to the plaid on the other. So these are going to be 4 1/8 by 6 3/8. Then we'll trim if needed. Because, you know, it's always better to be bigger than it is smaller. And this is what Tanya had done on her album that she created to make sure everything was okay. And I loved how it looked on the pockets. So 4 1/8 is like perfect. Just going to ink my, I know, I love that side too. But I've already used a lot of that. So I'm going to go with this side. I see some of that black through. That's really weird. I think something happened on my paper when they printed it, because I can see like behind there too, just like we saw on Tuesday. It was really weird on those flowers. You will want your clothespins handy. I use them on the outside of the book when I put this pocket on. So don't put them quite away yet. That's weird. It looks like black ink had been spilled on that sheet. Again, these are 4 1/8 by 6 3/8. Okay, once that's on, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the book. I'll put this little pocket on after we put the top flap. Otherwise, it might be in the wrong place. So, again, watching where your book folds. See where it folds? So keep on the inside of that. Otherwise, your book won't fold nice. I'm going to attach it almost to the bottom. That's where I use my clothespins, down here on the corners. Okay. because we just don't have enough fingers. So your clothespins come in handy. Now you can also, there you go inside of there. But don't poke through that gusset, or you know where that accordion is. You don't want to poke through your pocket. And if you have a spatula, make sure it's not glued down where it's not supposed to be. All right. So we're going to let that dry and do the top. So again, I used, for cozy, I used this, the wording, the red, and then we're going to do a cute little, some squares here. So we'll cut 3 3/8 is going to be our width for both pieces. And I'll show you what I'm going to do, just a little different. This is the coordinating paper you'll have, and you'll just cut your little squares. My top one, cut 3, and the bottom is 2.5. No, they're both 3. So cut 2 3-inch squares by the 3 3/8. Oh, it's getting heavy. And our book is 6 1/4. So 3 3/8 by 6 1/8. Now's the time I'm going to kind of start pulling out our scraps. Because we are getting down to the scraps here. But you're going to notice you don't have a lot. I don't have like an overabundance of big scraps, which is nice. That one will work. There we go. But if you cut like I did, you'll have this one. So I'm going to cut this 3 3/8 by 6 3/8. No, by 6 1/8. And if you did round your corners, you'll want to round your corner on this one. Now I'm hoping, let's see, I'm hoping for another long piece because I want to use the front and the back of it. But I think we're going to go, so I am going to cut 2 pieces because I've already used this. And I think that'll look really nice. So these are going to be 3 inches. These are going to be 3 inches long and 3 3/8 wide. So I'll do these on my small cutter. Hi, Karen. So we're going to go 3 inches and see where my designs are. Take a little off the top. I don't want to cut this truck up. So I'm going to go 3. And 3 3/8. Or you can just go all the way down, of course. I'm just checking. And then again at 3. And 3 3/8. Okay, if you need to do any trimming, just choose which piece. But I think that's fine. I'm going to leave mine as is, just making sure I maybe put that a little, keeping things symmetrical. And we'll ink our edges. Has anybody done the tea dyeing of your papers? Or the coffee dyeing? I know some of you have. I know I keep doing them and I keep losing them. I have to redo my papers. I don't know where I've put them again. So I'll put this one down first. The bigger one. And if you're just joining us and you want to make this December daily for this year, we do start early. So we're all done by the time Christmas rolls around, but you can go back and watch all of the different parts that we've done each week, either on YouTube or on Facebook. All right. You know my trucks. Yes. The golden egg through the website is March 1st through the 31st. So you'll have all month long, and there'll be random golden eggs put into orders with tickets inside of them for our drawing in April. For the inside, the back side of our flap, I used a piece. This was left over from that collection. So if you have that kit, I just used the border strips. But for this one, and so I need to check something. So we don't want to cut up all of our cut aparts. I think this is going to be my last piece of cut aparts. So I definitely am going to save it. And you will have a few sheets. You should have some, at least one more piece of your solid cardstock. So I'm just going to go solid on the back. And I'm going to go the whole way down. So 6 1/8 by 6 7/8. And it's solid, so I'm not worried about direction. And I just got to move everything to get to my cutter. And these books are heavy during the way. Exactly. And that's what's cool, is that there is no stress come December, because you've got your book all made and it's ready to go. Sorry, I just have to open another window because I just lost my view for some reason. Oh, there it is. That was really weird. Sometimes it kicks me off my own screen in Facebook. I've got 2 screens, and so I have to bring Facebook back up. Sorry. And that way I can see. No, Susan, there's no magnets on this. That is what I used those little booklets in the beginning for. Now, you could use your magnets if you like. I did not. That's what that little pocket will be on the bottom. But I know you guys are so used to me forgetting my magnets. So thank you for the reminder. There is a magnet on the front, though. All right, we're ready to put this on. I can now safely remove those. And just make sure everything's good down there. And I'm just going to kind of line up my little slits there. I do need to turn my book upside down. And you have a gusset, because you're going to want to fill that pocket full. You don't have to, but I just thought it landed in the right place, so I'm going to line those up. You just have that gusset for expansion. So you can really fill that up with cards, because I found last year especially I needed more pocket. I needed more room for those Christmas cards that came. And then you'll be, see, now we can also figure out our placement. And one thing I did is I used a chipboard. So if you have the kit, whichever kit, and so we had 2 kits to this. Cozy, and this will fit behind there. And I use my scrap pieces, and those will fit perfectly into your pocket, and that will hold down your flap. I use the Tidings of Comfort and Joy. And because we haven't even gotten into our chipboards for decorating yet, you can use whichever one you want. But I am going to go with the barn that matches up here. So I'm going to, you'll want to take it out for placement. So we're going to choose whichever one you want. The one I'm using is the barn. And I don't worry too much about taking these out because it's really not that sticky. And I'm just going to set that approximately where I think it's going to go, and then see when you put your barn there, just to make sure it fits. You only just want a little bit, because you're going to have to lift it, and that's really nice about that gusset. You'll just push it, and then you can just bend it back down a little bit to go back in. So that'll give you kind of an idea of where your pocket will sit. About 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, but you'll have time. We'll have time. We'll put that on here in just a minute. But 1/4 of an inch from the bottom is where I'm going to sit mine. So we're going to put it on, and then we'll mat it. Just so I can eyeball, or you can mark it. It's not real critical. You just want definitely enough room, and you can make these with your scraps anyway, you know, to fit, to hold that down. This one is Cozy Christmas. This one is Christmas Market. This is the Cartabella Christmas Market. So now our pocket is 3 inches by 6.5. And I am just going to use from our scrap pile, if I can get my thumbs to pick it up here. My fingers don't want to work. To me, they did the trucks a little different in the red. I wish they would have gone more with the darker red. I don't know why they didn't do that. Kind of looking through. That one would almost do it, but not quite. Here we go. Totally perfect. Go this way, because this one isn't too important directionally. It can go either way. So that's what I'm going to use, and it will match beautifully over here. They are a little bit different on the pattern. Oh, or let me see if I have some Christmas trees. We should have a piece of Christmas tree left. Mine's going the wrong direction, of course. Oh, but wait a minute. I have one top part of my tags. I can live with just the bottom half because I really like the trees. So I'm going to cut a 2 7/8 by 6 3/8. I had to even my paper out just a little bit. A little too long. Oh, it's still crooked. Try that again. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Okay, that's better. I hope your hand's doing much better. Okay, what I want to do is give you the measurements here. So this first one is 6 by 12, and I just folded in half like a card. And this is 6 1/2. So if it's 6, it's going to fit. And for my leftovers, this is 4 by 12. Just score it at 6, and that will hold that down. So I'm going to use those since I have them to give me an idea, you know, just how it looks. And then I can bring my barn up. I think I'll angle my barn just a little bit. Remember, we just need a little bit of room. We want it to hold it down. Can't get a hold of it. There we go. But I only want to add adhesive to this bottom part. So what you can do a couple of different things, because I knew I was going to take that off. So, and I usually do that. This, like I said, this isn't very sticky. You could just take your paper towels, because that'll get the fuzzies on there. Your shirt. Or I usually just peel this back off, because most times it comes off really easy. Tonight it doesn't want to. So I'm just going to take my paper towel and kind of defuzz it. Or your shirt. You can even use your shirt because of the lint. I don't keep baby powder, so I don't, or any kind of powder, but see, it's getting the stickiness off. This book took 3 sheets, Donna, so you'll need 3 sheets of 12 designs. So it took 36 sheets of paper. It's not little. Because the kit had 36 sheets of paper. So that's on the pocket. now I'm going to grab the sticker sheet, whichever collection you have. I don't know if I have one. It fell. On Cozy, you had this black strip and you had this really cute sign. So I put that on there, old-fashioned sleigh rides in hot cocoa. So on here, I already knew I wanted to use this. Merry Christmas. Do not open until December 25th. Again, it will go straight across here. I will glue it down. They don't stick very well, as you know. We'll cut it to fit. And I'm coming about 3/4 of an inch up to from the bottom. And down comes Wilbur.
18 minutes.
And see this really darling little tree for this one? The other one, again, was that hot cocoa sign. I'm going to kind of cover that tree there so it blends in. And then this will lift up. You'll just have to kind of push it up a little bit, but it holds that down along with your little tags. Now we want to mat the inside. So I used the stocking paper on Cozy, this one. Well, I'll look and see what we're going to use. But I'm only going to go down. You don't need to cover the whole thing unless you want to. Totally up to you. But I'm going to cut a piece that's 8 inches long. And we're going to cut it a little bit shorter than normal because of the way our pocket sits. So I'm going to go 8 by 8.5, and then we'll trim down as needed. It will have to be shorter. I'm not liking the reds. I'm not liking how the reds are not like blending in, and I don't want to cut that one because that's for our cover. And those are our tags. So let's go with some black on the inside or some. Well, let's cut it and see what we like best. Cozy was the stockings. 8 by 8.5. Check your directional because your 8.5 will be wide. 8 will be long. There's Wilbur's call to his people out there. Yep. I'm gonna take mine to 8 3/8. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah.
See how it looks on the outside. Oh, I like it. I like the black in the background. You can hear him? I know. He does this every night about the same time. That's a beagle for you. He's outside, Susan. He's outside my studio window. He has a kennel out there. And then it has a big long run. And he points to the east and he howls every night. We don't know why. We call it the call of his people. Ever since he learned to howl when he was a baby, it's kind of like he's calling everybody in. No, we don't have, well, we do have deer out here, kind of, but not really. You know, and he's going to be 4 years old this year. I can't believe it. And he's a little boy, right? And but he has 2 female dogs. So he still squats like a little girl out there howling his head off, and then he stops to squat, and then he starts hollering some more. It's absolutely hilarious to watch. Now that goes down. That is where the little junk journal that we're going to make with the paper. No, nobody's coming home from work. Everybody's here. He's just out there howling his little head off. And then with your scraps, you'll go back and make your booklets or tags, anything that you want. I just used my sticker there. And I will put this in here just so that you have that visual to hold all that nice and neat. So there's our back pocket. Really was super easy. Hi, Pamela. Oh, no. Okay, our inside front cover. Now, this is the fun one. If you're on our Facebook group, Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, then this element here, I'm going to show you how to do it. But there is an SVG file. Let me grab my samples here. So Tanya has already done an SVG file. And I got to grab my other 2 pieces. Oh, I got to cut. Let me cut. I've got to cut these really quick. Thought I did. And then I'll give you the measurements. Okay. We have the SVG file and also the Cricut file on Scrapbookers, and our 2 designers made these. Tanya designed this one on the Cricut, and then Jennifer took it and also made the SVG file. Yes, it is cocktail time. So on your Cricut, it's going to cut it beautifully. Can you see those score marks? And this is what you'll have. And it'll be all done and ready for you. And then it'll do the second piece. And then she did do the closure. Now, if you don't have the machine, that's okay. I'm going to cut it by hand with you also. And to do that, you want to have 2 pieces of cardstock. You want one that's 8.5 by 11.5. You want an 8.5 by 10.25. This is the outside booklet. It is still going. So my 10 and a half, I mean my 10 and a quarter, I'm going to put this in my scoreboard. I'm going to score it at 5 1/8. We're just going to score it in half. This thing is still in its shedding phase of that plastic. I'm going to set that aside. Now, your 11 1/2 by 8 1/2 piece. This piece is where we're going to cut it all by hand, and we're going to end up with this. Wilbur, he's going nuts. I don't know what for. So when you score this, if you want to watch me first, you might want to, but I'm going to start at the 1 inch. And if you've got your scoreboard with measurements on the side, I start at the 1 and I lightly score till I hit 1. And then I'm going to push a little harder because we're scoring 1 inch all the way around. Now, if you happen to go all the way down, it's fine. You're not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to start here. What I'm doing is about 10 1/2. It's not exact. I'm creating this inside circle. That boy is going nuts. You know, dogs have such good ears. It's so hard to tell what they're... Yeah, go see if he wants to come in. The girls are going to go see what he's having a cow over. Okay, then I want to start again here at 1. Like I said, don't worry if you're not exact on. Just I'm lightly scoring here. I'm going to push when I get to 1. I stop about 7 1/2. Not super. We don't know. It's just his nightly thing. 1, and I'm going to go light, and then I push harder. See my approximations inside here? Now, when we put this on our scoreboard, what we're going to do is we're going to score only this inside first. Okay? So also this is the time you can check if you needed to join your score lines on the corners. Mine are good. I even went down a little. It's okay. We're going to cover those with paper. So on the inside, you want to now score at 1 1/2. I'm just going to lightly now start hard when I get into the inside. And then if you need to fix that outside line, and it will look like that. Then I'm going to come down here. 11 1/2, we've already scored at 10 1/2. So at 10 inches, I'm going to do the same thing on the inside. Like I said, if you kind of move your line, don't worry. You're going to cover everything with paper. I'm going to check this score mark. Now on the inside, you have 1/2 inch on each end, 1 inch border. Now we need to score just within this 1 inch. So you're going to make your first score mark at 3 3/4. We're going to go at 5 3/4 all the way down, and then 7 3/4 just on the 1 inch part. Okay, so 3 3/4, 5 3/4 all the way down, and 7 3/4. I'm going to turn mine around to show that to you again. 3 3/4 just to the 1 inch score line. 5 3/4 all the way down, which we already did. 7 3/4. Whoops. 7 3/4 just right there to your 1 inch score line. And that's what that will look like. See, these are those 1/2 inches. Okay, now we need to cut. Like I said, if you have the file, then yours are already cut. But what we're going to do is, I'm going to mark this one because I'm going to use the one I cut on the Cricut. I want to show you. I'm going to use my 1-inch spacers. They work great. But I want to draw this so you can see it a lot easier. I lost my gel pen. There it is. I did not mean to mark that, so let me show you. Starting with this 1 inch. Whoops. Yeah, we need to stay on the inside. Ignore that boo-boo, because we only want to go. We don't want to cut into these 1/2 inch pieces. So I want to grab my knife, your box cutter, whatever you like to use. And again, I just use my spacer. One thing that's nice is you can see through it because we want to start here at the 1 1/2. And we want to stop at 10. So you can even mark your spacers. Don't cut into that 1/2 inch. And don't try to do it all in one pass if it's not going through. And again, 1 1/2 down to my 10-inch mark. And that's it on our cutting. So now you've cut those two away. And now we're just going to fold. And don't worry, we're going to be folding a couple of different directions. First, I'm just going to fold it in half. Yes, I do, Tanya. Oh, I do cut into the 1/2 inch. I'm sorry. Go back. So I do cut into the 1/2 inch. You're right. Why did I think No, I don't, Tanya. Hold on. You sure? I do. Goofed, guys. So let's go ahead and cut into that 1/2 inch. Sorry. Wait a minute. No, don't. Did we on the Cricut? Oh, we did. We've done it so many different ways today. No, Tanya, I didn't hear. Okay. Thought I was going crazy. I do. So let's go ahead and cut into that 1/2 inch. Sorry, guys. Thank you. I'm glad you're here, Tanya. So you do want to free those. Right to that 1 inch. Easy fix. So it is free. Okay. I'm just going to loosen everything up on these edges. Let me show you. So these outside, see, will end up going on the inside because we glue those down. These will end up actually coming up like so. So when you grab these, this will come up and just bend them back. You're not going to hurt it, just gently crease it up and crease. There we go. Okay, so just again, you're going to go in half. I do this to kind of pre-fold it. Don't worry the direction you're folding in, because you're going to straighten it all out here in a minute. This is just to like loosen everything up. So actually I'm going to take this outside one both directions so it's not stiff. Then we're going to fold this 1/2 inch. See, that will fit like so. So that will pooch up on the end like a gusset there. So it looks like a book. Once again, it will sit like so. Like so. These will be glued down. So when you fold this in half, you can straighten everything out backwards. Okay, I'm going to map the other one with you that I've cut with the SVG file. And then I'm going to mat this before we put it in the book. Oops. So we're going to choose our outside paper and we're going to cut the strips for it. Cozy. I use the floral. See, we're going to have a strip here and we're going to have to create these little pieces here. And then I didn't do the inside, you'll see, but I did underneath the little arch there. And then you had this brown, which is really nice with Cozy. My cutter. So what I need to do is I'm going to take the one now that is already cut on my file on the Cricut. Isn't that awesome? Of course, the Cricut really, for some reason, it didn't score. Mine didn't score it as much as I would have scored it. So if you have cut yours on the machine, we're going to do the same folding. I'm going to bring that up, bring that over to be a little more gentle because my score lines, so I can fold it down and really burnish it. Same. Hi, Terry. Okay. Now we need to do just like we did on the other. Oh, I'm going to score this. It's just not enough for me. And I'll do it again at 1.5. my scoreboard's not the same as my machine. So check your lines just in case. Alrighty. You'll be amazed at how this one moves. That will be glued. So when we close this, and this was done on the Cricut. So they both look great. Okay, now I can choose the papers I want to use for the borders. And of course you need to have, well, let's go over this really quick again. So I chose for the cover, remember? Because we need 1, 2, you need at least 3 for our cover. I wanted that one because of our tags. I wanted to make sure I didn't cut into that. So this one is kind of like my leftover, not leftover, but I don't have any of this black on the front. So I might be using that here in the center, or you could just use your ivory or whatever you're matting with. And then if you have, you know, if you want to do them all the same color, whatever. I mean, I do want to do mine all the same color, so I'm going to go all with the black plaid and I think the red. So I'll do the red on the outside, the black plaid on the inside. And I'm going to cut 4 strips that are 7/8 of an inch. Do you know what, Margaret? I think spell check's just gotten out of hand. Mine's crazy too. Okay, so 7/8 of an inch. Yes, actually we're kind of down to the wire here. 3 and 4. So I know my sides are 8.5. So I'll cut my first 2 pieces at 8 3/8. No, no, we made this all from the start. This is number 6. So there's 5 other parts to this album on YouTube. So 8 3/8, and then we'll use these little ones. And we'll wait and cut the rest. So I'll put these on the sides first. I know, I'm really liking this black plaid. And it just reminds me of a frame. Again, 7/8 of an inch wide. 8 and that's okay. We're gonna cover it. And 8 3/8 long. And I knew I had too much glue there. Should have taken it off in the beginning. Hi, Wendy. How are you feeling? Check our fit. I'm so sorry. Okay, so now we're going to do these little sections. How do you lose a ruler? I set my book on top of it. That's how. Okay, so from the edge where I'm measuring, I can give you the measurements, and then you'll cut the double with me. I'm going to say I'm going to cut a 2 5/8. Just want to check both ends. Okay, let me cut mine so you don't have to first, because you'll cut for them. Awesome. So 4 2 5/8 will work. Now, oh, this is going off of course, Tanya did the same measurement. So it's going off of the one I cut on my machine, but they should be the same measurements. So if you feel more comfortable, you might want to just measure first, just to be sure. So I have those 4. And then these little guys are 1 7/8. And I'll want to cut 4 of those. After I put it in the book, I did put them underneath, but I do that after. So 1 7/8. That's what the rest of this will be for. I put them underneath here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 4 longer pieces. We'll get those all inked. And again, these are 7/8 wide, 2 5/8 long. I can't hold on to anything. a little short, but that's okay. And the bottom. That is shorter. Two and 3/8. Cut it much too short. I'll cut a new one. And I'll use that for underneath. But it looks okay. See, that's not bad at all. Oh, I love the black. So I can do my little top pieces. Same way. I'm going to check all the lengths though. Again, they're 1 7/8 by 7/8, so they look good. I think I'm going to use the red plaid, not the red plaid. I think I'm going to put the red on the, or the black plaid even on the front. And just the solid red inside here. Okay, don't be afraid to flatten this out. You're not going to hurt it. We're going to be doing a lot of rebending. And I like the way the paper starts to weigh down the sides where you need it to be weighed down. Thank you, Virginia. That is up. Two. So you can see if you have a SVG or a machine that will cut, it just makes it a lot simpler, especially with you have to do all the piecing. But you'll see in a minute how this will also make a really neat card. Oops. Okay, now my inside. My inside's going to be 4 1/8 wide. So if you're having a pattern, make sure you check that. 4 1/8 wide and 6 1/2 wide. I mean, 4 1/8 by 6 1/2. I think I'm just going to go with the red. So you'll want 2 pieces of that. It probably could, Virginia. I mean, yeah, Margaret, it sure could. What did I tell you guys? I better measure real quick. I think you really could cut it on the joy. Absolutely. 6 3/8. I'm glad I rechecked this. By 4 1/8. And then that will just be a nice little spot for photos. And then I did do the gussets, so you'll want the pieces for that. Could even do the green. Oh, I like the green. Or you could do one in green and one red. Let me see something. I think this might be, no, is it too wide? No, it's not too wide. I don't want a lot of ink on there. Wendy says the green. I kind of like the green too. Yeah, I'm going green. No, you could you could cut your strips, Tanya. She could cut 7/8 of an inch strips because on the joy, you don't even have to have a mat. But you couldn't cut anything else with the joy. Definitely not big enough. Why that's popping up. I've never had it not want to stick before. Okay, the sides, 3/8 of an inch. And I should already have my length because this was the leftover piece. I want to cut 2 that are 3/8. So try and match your matting. I am too, Pamela. And then I think with the Christmas pictures, it'll, oh shoot, the pictures will really take on, you know, it has that, It'll have a nice green background. No, I know it's a little chilly down here, but I don't know why this not wanting to stay down. There it goes. I have to just message this person back. Trying to, there we go. So I need to, it's actually Echo Park. And I'll let them know, I'll call them back. There we go. Must be bringing home a new order. Oh, Joyce, I'm sorry. Did you have a question? Okay, now I'm just going to kind of form some of my areas here. And the next thing you want to do, remember that first piece that we scored? Whether you have it on the machine or... yes, Joyce, they're all posted in the... It used to be Units tab. It's now, what is it? Guides tab. So let's go ahead and fold that in half. And I did not mat any of this. You can. I do mat these little spots under here after we put that in, but I want to show you. So just go ahead and place this in here. The main thing is where it folds in half, you're going to match. You want to match it up. This right here is going to match the edge right here. So the only thing we really have to worry about right now is we're going to add glue to here, just that first little part, and here and here. And I will put the size of our card piece at the bottom of the screen, and then you just score it in half at 5 1/8. So I'm now going to go ahead and add my adhesive to that first score line here and along this edge. Then I'm going to match my card edge to edge here. Edge to edge. If you're using the glue, you want to, of course, burnish it well. Make sure it's dry before we do the other side. What's going to happen is that will fold just like so. And yes, it'll feel like you're squishing it down, and it's okay. Because it's those little gussets. So those little gussets, see, they have to squish together. Then they'll open, but they'll squish together like so. So let's just fold this in half. And we're going to get our fingers a little messy and just fold it over. And I know you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm squishing it. It's okay. It will all bounce back. Okay, underneath here is where I put I put black pieces. I'll put the black pieces over here underneath, but they're not very big. It's only going to be like 1 3/8. I'm going to cut 4 of those. So 1 3/8 by 7/8 on this one. And we want 4. Hi, Martha. Yes, it's on my YouTube channel. It's the walkthrough, and I use Cozy Christmas. Yeah, and the size is also on the screen. Okay. And then I'm just going to slide those in there. So this is going to be really cute. You can use this in any album. You can use it as a card. Now, okay, on the second one, I kind of had to push it underneath this a little bit. Probably some glue got there, or you can trim it, but it went under there nicely, so that's just fine. Try it first this time. That'll be fine. Oh, no, that's not fine. And you won't see that end, so there we go. It didn't ink it, but you can't see it. It's okay. I'm going to trim that too. Okay, there we go. So see, you could also give this as a card. We're going to make the closure here in just a minute. And I did use a magnet for this. will mount the front. I don't mount the back because it's going to be glued down. And then when you open in your book, you have just a really cool place to post your pictures. Okay, now our next piece, which is our closure piece, and then you do want a large magnet. I'm going to put the size on the screen, but I forgot to put it on the screen. So I wrote it down. It is 3.5 by 6. Whoops, I'll make you a banner here real quick. Okay, it's 3.5 by 6. And the reason I didn't give you the measurement, I forgot, because you can cut this also with your SVG file. Okay, I've got lots of pieces and parts here now. Get them out of the way. And from cutting, you'll have a piece left. And the reason I went 3.5 by 6, you kind of want this to be a little bit bigger. You want it to be a little bit beefier. You want, because this is, you can see this takes a little bit more to hold shut, right? And then also, this is 5 1/8 by 8.5. So you will want to cut whatever you're going to use on your cover at 5 by 8 3/8. So I'm just getting into my pieces and parts. I'm thinking with this, I really want to use the black plaid. I also need to make sure I don't take from my cover. I go black plaid. I could use, because we need to mount the inside. I could use this Trucks, and I keep it on black plaid. I really like this. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll use this. I use the Trucks to come across as my closure. So I'll show you that in just a minute. So what we need to do, a couple of things. Decide what you want to mount the inside of your book. And I am going to do the Trucks. Yes, it's my tags, but we've got some others we can use. 8 3/8. And our cover is 10 inches. Yes. 8.5 by 10. So 8 3/8 by 9 7/8. I'm going to cut this and mount the inside real quick. Now, cozy. I used the border strip. So this is going to look really cute because we've got the truck here. I'll have the Trucks here. And then I've got the black snowflakes. So this just, it was meant to be. It was just meant to be because it flows really well with the truck and the truck, because this is the mini truck of that truck. So I love when it just kind of works out, right? So I'm going to put this piece down first so that I didn't want to, end up using this for anything else, of course. Yeah, I don't have a walkthrough of this because, to be honest with you, that would have meant I made 4 albums. And I didn't plan on doing the second one, but we ran out of the kit and everybody was still wanting it. So this was a last minute second option, and I didn't have time to do a second one. So we are having to do this right on the fly. But for those of you that haven't started, I will do a walkthrough of this so you can see it, and that way if you haven't started, you will know what it looks like. All right, we'll give that time to dry. And this is our closure. And it's 6 inches long, 3.5 wide. And I need a little more paper underneath, so I'm going to score it 1/2 and 1 1/4. We have a 1/4 inch gusset. 1/2 and 1 1/4. Important thing is magnet first. So we have that gusset, because this is a good size booklet. So I'm just going to put it basically in the center, kind of put my finger where I think a magnet would go. Make a mark, and then we'll put our magnet down. Hi, Diane. How are you? Boy, I've made a mess tonight. All right, my first one's down. I want to go ahead and mount this. So now this is only 4 3/4 long, so 4 5/8 by 3 3/8 wide. And if you're using directional, which I'm going to, wait a minute. Maybe there won't be enough. I have another piece. So again, 4 5/8 wide and 3 3/8. So I'm just going to go, and I just made a big mistake. I meant to do it the opposite direction. So well, we'll go 3 3/8. I didn't want to go all the way across, so don't do what I just did. And 4 5/8. I should have gone 4 5/8 and cut my little piece. And then, oh, we need the same for the back. I don't want to cut up any more trucks, so I'm going to go with this for the back. 3 3/8 and 4 5/8. Probably use the black. Yeah, I'm going to actually show you the tag closure with the G45 tags in your kit. I'm going to show you if you want to do it with a magnet. I'm going to show you, oh, that's too short. I'm going to have to cut this down. I'm going to show you if you want just ribbon. Yeah, I'm taking 1/4 of an inch off mine because I cut my paper too short width-wise. So I had to take 1/4 inch off. So I'll have to do the same here. So mine's going to be 3 1/4. So this is going to be 3 1/8. Sorry. Hopefully you cut yours correctly. So that's what we'll do on next Tuesday. We'll be doing the cover, the closures, the decorating. They really don't take long. There's two different ones. There's one on the cutting guide, or you can use your G45 tags. Do you need me? Wait, do you need me, guys?
No.
Oh. The graphic 45 tags, or you can just use a ribbon. The choice is yours. Or you don't even have to. This album will stay closed good. Oh, let me move this out of the way. All right. For a minute, I thought I put it on upside down. I was going to say, okay, quitting time. Okay, let's cover the back. What's wrong? Okay. Now, to decide where you want this. Now, see the gussets there? Center it. Okay. So that's down. That'll be our little closure. So now I can take my backing off of this one. You know what? The magnet keeps trying to grab this out of my hands. We're still working around here, so I had to give directions. Okay, I want to cut my cover 5 by 8 3/8. And poor Wilbur, he's a little bit, is he displaced over there? Yes, he's in the girls' working chair. I'll have to pay him hourly. Yeah, he's over there working. I like that. I really am liking this black plaid. Okay. Oh, magnet down. There we go. Tuesday, though, I think we're going to start a half hour early at 4 o'clock instead of 4:30 so that we can get the decorating and get everything done. And that way, especially on the East Coast, it's not quite as late for you guys. So I will make sure to put that time change. We'll start a half hour early on Tuesday. and we'll get her all done. Now, if there's for some reason, because they're knocking out a wall, if it does get done and I'm able to, and you guys want, maybe we could pick it up Sunday. But we'll see. I can't promise that, but we'll plan on Tuesday. All right, put that glue on the edges where it belongs. Now, you can't just throw this down in the book, and I'll show you why. Wait a minute, let me get this ink off. Good to have hand sanitizer at your desk. Okay. So grab your book, and the thing to remember, see, you're going to be opening it. So do you want it to hang over, or do you want to bring it over here? I put mine about three, there's only about a quarter, so 3/4 over. So when it's opened, but then again, you want to make sure, nothing will interfere. And when you open it, you've got such a nice little spot there. So you can decide, once you kind of get your placement, then we need to add our adhesive. Okay. Once you get your placement, we're just going to hold it for a minute. Actually, if you've got your spatula, you can reach up in there. And again, see what a nice card. You could just make this and give it to someone. When they open, you've got, some beautiful pictures in there. Great for Mother's Day, birthday. Okay. And that is basically the inside of your album. So Tuesday, we're going to come back. We're going to do our decorating, which, again, I've saved these papers for. And then the plaid. Got to have the plaid and the ornaments. Again, if you're using Cozy, it was the green plaid. I had the red, and that's kind of a greenish snowflake that you'll have on the back side of one of your papers. The spine, I did the same as the front. Now, I did do triple matting, and I'm not going to do it with this Christmas market because it's the textured paper, and I'll tell you what, it's a lot heavier, but I will give you the measurements for the triple matting if you want to do it. This is just double matted on the back with the green and then the plaid, the red plaid. And you don't even have to double mat if you don't want to at all. So that is where I'm going to smack my camera, and now you guys are going to go dizzy. Sorry. Oh my gosh, they did line up, didn't they? That is where we are we are like done with the inside except for our decorating. And one thing that I did not do on this album, I think I already told you guys, see the tops? They are open. I did not make mats. You certainly can. It's really tight. These are really, 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 really tight books. Yes, there's going to be a couple of different closures, and I'll show those to you. You can also, you'll have some of your tags, but you could also just make them to go inside. Now, the closures. Like I said, there's a couple of different. I used brown. This is Cozy, and I used brown on Cozy. That's brown. Okay, I used the G45 tags. I don't like this sticking. I'm going to change it, but I'll show you how I used the graphic 45 tags that were in your kits. I also originally did this with the magnetic closure. Tanya had done it, and I will show you that too. So if you want to do it that way, we'll make both closures, or you can just use a ribbon. You don't even have to use a closure, as you can see, because this album cover, the lay flat album cover, you don't even have to use a closure, which is nice, but it's kind of cute to use one. I'm going to change this. So you have the red and white ribbon with Christmas country Christmas market. Then you have the green fuzzy with Cozy. So we will do those first thing because we need to do those before we put our matting on our book. Okay. And then we'll go through. I'm not putting any numbers on. You'll want to do that probably closer to Christmas. I went ahead and did it on this one because I think it's going to be I'm keeping this one. This is going to be my forced. I have to do it. But we'll go through, put the little chipboard stickers where I put things. A couple places I think I kind of beat that up. This one's getting a lot of use already. And like I said, we'll just go through, do the sticker matting, the chipboard matting. And I'll show you where I use the other G45 tags. And then you're going to be completely done. You can set it up on your shelf and wait for Christmas. Okay, guys, I will see you then for sure on Tuesday, 4 p.m. It's going to be a half hour early so that we can get it completely done and go a little bit longer. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.